go.
Well, hello everyone. This is DarkOrbit streaming again on Twitch. Tonight we're just the two of us, Sergey and me, Jörg. And yeah, Sergey, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, tonight we decided to discuss a bit of the results of the open beta tests we've run recently and show you some results of the feedback that you gave us, share some insights of what we are going to, how do we address that feedback, and also we are going to go in the open beta right now live and look at assembly together with you, and we hope to find some other people on the test server as well.
Are you saying we just started the open beta for the assembly, like the second stage of it?
I hope. I don't have my emails, but I hope it's currently, if not it open, but it's currently in the process of being open. So.
Flips?
Yeah?
Could you do me a favor and post something on Facebook so people know and join us?
Sure.
Cool, thanks a lot. So, I don't know if we can really fill up the full hour like we did the last couple of times, but I think we should start.
Yes.
How about I think you guys see that there is a little window down there showing you the presentation I have on my laptop right here, which we prepared for you to see a couple of graphs and numbers and words, essentially.
Yes.
So let's dive right in. We do that just to prove to you that we are really, really looking at your feedback that you provide in the little surveys on the test server, and that Sergey here is actually coming up with ideas to solve any issues that you might note there.
Well,
So-
I just want to note that there is entire design team behind me. It's not just me sitting and coming up with ideas. I mainly make other people come up with ideas. But yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes, of course, I forgot to mention that we are not just the couple of people that you saw sitting here, and
That is a lot more.
there's a lot more. And there are people coming in every week now.
Yes.
It feels like so many new faces. So first of all, we had the assembly open beta test that was running last Thursday or
I
Friday.
think it was Wednesday, if
Wednesday?
I'm not mistaken. Yes.
There was so much going on.
Yes. But
And yes,
so, guys, here is the results of the feedback form. We basically grouped up the ratings so that people who gave like 4 to 5 stars is obviously positive about the feature, and 1 to 2 stars is positive, obviously negative. So we kind of like grouped that up together to show to you. And as you can see, and we were really very happy with this, we had an overwhelmingly positive reception of assembly feature. And most of the people liked, well, most of aspects, like the rewards that were offered, like the interface of the feature, like the idea itself, and could really understand how many possibilities we now have with this feature going forward, like how many things we can potentially add, what we can do. And I've seen a lot of good ideas on the forums and in the chat on the test instance about like what would be nice to see in assembly, what would be nice to add to the feature functionality, like what would people like to like disassemble some items, for instance, to get the components and so on. So that's very like overwhelmingly good, and we are very happy with this stuff. These are the actual answers that you gave, so we are not responsible. Just to give you a short breakdown of like percentages, we have a more like
Yes.
numeric view. So for people who like numbers, so the overwhelming majority of people rated the assembly system in general is very positive. It's like about 70%. About the same rate, people were happy about the interface. and about the same rate people were happy about the rewards that are offered in the system. However, that doesn't mean that we haven't received some very constructive criticisms, and we have received a lot of feedback. It's not like, oh, everybody's happy, we are not going to change anything or address any concerns. We hear the concerns and we know the things that are going live today on the open beta. The changes that we made are basically addressing one of the main concerns that people expressed. Was the main concern was that people felt that there were not enough NPCs dropping the specific stuff. Yes, so we basically broadened the list of NPCs, so more different NPCs drop specific components or specific crafting ores. We also wanted to clarify the interface a little bit, because we found when people try to create something like ammunition, they don't get that they will be creating a certain amount of ammunition, like several units of ammunition. That wasn't clear enough. And we basically have received a lot of different ideas, like what could be potentially put in assembly. We definitely kind of like made a huge list of those suggestions, and we going forward throughout the year after the actual release of this feature, we will be trying to see if we can put more and more different recipes with different components and different stuff. And that's basically the results of the feedback that we received, and we hope that we'll receive another valuable feedback right now from you, and well, work on that as well.
Well, of course, we can't implement all of those new recipes right now, because as Sergey said, there is a huge number of these things, and we are just trying to figure out how we implement them at what point, and for what certain kind of event we could use them, because just flooding the game doesn't make
we basically
that much
want
sense.
to do it very carefully and very gradually, and also want to respect the opinions of older players and newer players. So like many people noted in the chat and on the forums that I've seen, that this is a good feature for starting players, so that they can have better access to certain parts of the game, or certain features, or certain rare stuff like pets, for instance. But many people noted that I would like to see this and this in the assembly, and some people said, don't you dare put this thing in assembly, and so on. So we want to tread carefully. We want to make sure that whenever we add a new bunch of recipes, we show it on the open beta in advance, like so that you can look at what are the requirements and see if that's useful or usable, and so on.
And of course,
yeah,
the topic of rarity. Some players spend a lot of time gaining certain items, gaining certain designs or stuff,
Yes.
and we just don't want to devalue that.
Yeah, we don't want
course.
to jeopardize the status, but what we also want to do is we want to include some things that would be hard to obtain. So we would like to expand the feature on both ends. On the one hand, we want to make sure it's more open to the new players and to mid-game players. On the other hand, we want to make sure that there is something hard to obtain, hard to make in the system, which would make certain players who like to kind of like be leaders of their faction or leaders of their server, that those recipes, those items would really help them to stand out and to show their status and the achievement that they made, or the level of accomplishment, or level of investment they have in game. That's basically all going to be possible, and we will share our plans going forward, obviously, with the community.
The first questions I see here, will you add more designs to the assembly system? Of course we will, at some point.
I mean, it's hard to, like, I can't, unfortunately. I would love to say, like, here is the plan, like this date we had this design, this date we at this design. we have a lot of things going on currently in production, and we'll share those insights soon, I guess. And we also have a big inventory of different ships currently in game, and some of them are rare and some of them are hard to get. So we will explore the needs of the people and basically start putting out some designs that would help mid-game and low-end game players to be a bit more powerful and to basically progress a bit better and more comfortable. But also we will always consider like requests or ideas from the players. Hey, why don't you put this specific design in assembly? Because I don't know reasons, because we want it, and we will definitely look at it.
There is a comment like that the feedback that we're getting may be kind of biased towards a certain level range of players. Like in this case, the majority of users consist of smaller players. Do you think that's a valid concern? Like, do you have any idea who is making these comments? Who is actually giving us the feedback?
In terms of like what level the players have on the actual instance,
on like the live instances, do we kind of know if any suggestion that you are looking at is made by a like a new player or low level player, or is it a comment made by someone who's actually been with the game for years?
well,
can you distinguish that?
we don't. To be honest, when we read forums and when I read forums, although like not so much often, I rely on our CMs to pass on the most important stuff. But I do read forums, and when I look at the specific requests or ideas from the players, it's usually more or less apparent, or like more or less understandable. If the player says, hey, I would like to make this very comprehensive overview of things, or there is this improvement to the feature that is a high level, like there is this improvement I suggest to make for clan battle stations. Obviously that is a veteran player, because the low end players, like starting players, might know about this feature, but they probably were not that much exposed to it yet. So the actual essence of improvement or suggestion from the player generally shows where they stand. But we are also very concerned with this topic, and we try to follow up with it, because we realize that the people who express concerns represent their specific like group or their specific part of the audience, and we don't want to make changes that will benefit only one specific group. Okay, like high level players want this, we do only things that high level players basically vocalize and shout about, and we forget about everyone else. So we try really follow that, but we do it by not just by taking your nickname out of the forum and looking at what level you are, but by judging what is the request, what feature it touches. We know when players start engaging with different features, so we understand what impact would the suggestion have on the low game, or like mid game, on the high end game, and so on. So that's
okay. That sounds reasonable. I mean, I've seen a couple of the data we have already that you shared with us, and from that I can say that we know to distinguish where the comments come from and where they would lead us. So to wrap that up, and that then we know through our experience with the game what this means in the long run, and so we can decide and prioritize the decisions we make.
yes.
Cool. There are a couple of questions about the resource drops. Do you have any concrete plans, like the bigger the bigger the NPC, the bigger the drops, or?
Well, we basically try to play with the concept of rarity, like the specific ores are dropped by specific NPCs, and that's tied to the like how hard it is to kill the specific NPC, and that means that the ore or this specific component is a bit more rare than the other. But also what we want to look at is to see if we can, we want basically to play with availability. So some ores could be rare and drop from a very rare NPCs, like from, I don't know, from specific NPCs in some like remote parts of the universe, and the other drops are very common, and that means you can craft like common items from them. We want to make sure that the drop rates are adequate, like you have the ability to do that, but I would say it would be very nice to manage expectations in that regard, because I've seen some complaints about people saying, but I will need to do to basically play for a certain period of time to obtain this specific thing in assembly. But I guess, I mean, maybe I'm wrong and correct me, but I think that's the essence of the crafting system. You spend a certain amount of time collecting the resource, and then you're able to craft that specific very awesome thing that you want.
I think in other games this is kind of called replay value.
Yeah, well, in a sense, and I mean, we don't, as again, I would like to stress, we don't want to just say, you know what, this should be insanely hard. We try to look at this and we try to calculate the number of hours we think you would need to do that. And I mean, in a sense, the items that you are able to craft in assembly, they are now available through some other means, every now and then, or like the cool part is that we can look into offering some things you can get only from assembly, and that would be something that we will carefully look at the balancing and the drops and make sure that people can project, like players can understand, okay, if I play every day for 2 hours, like in 3 weeks I will have this super awesome design. That was the main goal of like of one of the main goals of the system, so that you can really set goals for yourself and you can really measure, okay, I can do this, or I can like this design is also like available for Uridium, maybe I go for Uridium in this case, and I pick the other thing that I really like and I really don't want to spend Uridium on it, I would rather craft it. So there is always like the balancing act, and what we want to do is we want to present players with clear and fair choices. Like you either make this choice or you make that choice, and that's how you basically measure your progress and your success in the game.
And how long do you think will it take to make these changes? Because of course there are some people eager out there to really get their hands on it on a live service. So they're asking for release dates.
Well,
do we have a rough?
I can't. Let's put it this way. We really hope that nothing goes wrong and everybody like. It all depends on the feedback, basically. Like if we find that somebody points out to a very crucial drawback of the system, or some balancing problem, or I don't know, it just doesn't work the way we intend, it will delay the launch. That's why the more exposed we are to the people, the more we show you guys what we are trying to do, the less strict we become on our deadlines, because we are like, okay, players didn't like certain aspects, we need to work on that. It will take some time, but we hope that we will be basically showing like if today's test goes nicely, we hope that within several weeks we will be able to launch the system on live instances.
I think that's covering the assembly.
Yes.
Do we want to go into numbers and show the system as it is on the servers then after that?
I mean, we can talk about the other open beta and then go to the open test server.
That would be easiest, because
yeah,
then
I guess you will not have to switch between stuff.
And all this technology thing here, that's really exciting.
We are an IT company, Jörg. We have to deal with this stuff.
This is true. So, ship customization.
Yes.
We ran that on Monday, Monday through to Tuesday.
Yes.
And that I know there has been a little problem with that because sadly we didn't put out the FAQ with all the details describing how the system works early enough. My apologies for that. This is completely on my plate. We will make sure that this won't happen the next time. So, ship customization. What does this mean? First of all, to just give you a rough overview, it means that we have the ship management now sorted differently, not in the same, not like with the Herrengeist system, but all the ships on one page. And so you can see them quickly, manage them quickly.
Yes.
And all the rest.
Yeah, the idea was that we are kind of like, and that's what I really want to make very clear, guys. The problem was that we cannot really allow people to have a customized look because we had a bunch of ships and a bunch of designs for them, and the designs would give them bonuses, and some designs would not give bonuses, and some designs would basically give another skills on top.
A bit like the drones that we had,
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
Havocs, and then we wanted to have some nice looks on them.
Yes, so
was
with the
clashing.
drones, it was even a bit more, a bit easier because there were only two designs, three after the Halloween, which gave any bonuses to the drones, and basically after that we decided to go for this customization slot. With the ships, it's more complex because not only some designs give bonuses, they also basically completely change the look of the ship, and they also give you certain skills. What we decided to do, we decided to say, okay, now all of the things that give you any advantage, any bonus, new skills, and so on, they become ships. And we basically want to look at this collection of ships and expand it
Yep.
over time. So we are preparing new ships basically as we speak, and we'll be showing them to you guys as well in the open beta. And that would allow us to provide players with a very clear overview of what ships are available in game, and each ship then will become a subject of, like, we can release personalization designs, like we can release different color designs for the ships that players like. We went to this change because we wanted to streamline the whole drone pet ship customization kind of like system, and we wanted to make sure that players never have the choice or have to make a choice between a cool, awesome look and nice bonuses. So we basically want to make sure that you play on the ship that you like with the customization that you like.
Yeah.
And that's important for us because that's basically opens a whole new possibility of basically charging or putting forward the items or the packages which do not bring any gameplay advantage. They just look awesome, and that's what we are trying to do. Yes.
And I think despite how these graphs look here, I think we are on the right track there, because as we can see here, the first iteration of the system that we put on the server on Monday, while working for us, seems to have a couple of snags like here and there where people aren't really happy with how we styled it.
So if we basically look at these results, what we see here is that we basically have a clear division. Some people really like the system, some people didn't like the system. and the many concerns were in the interface part. So I guess the green bar is, I just don't see clearly, but yeah, the green bar is the interface. So we
Oh no, sorry. The red bar is the interface, and the management system in general is the green bar. But I think this is kind of coupled together because the way we presented it at the moment wasn't very clear, and as I said, sadly missing out on sending the FAQ to the forums may have caused some confusion.
So and also what we had a couple of problems that are not connected to the feature, but they were very apparent on the web on the test instance. Like Galaxy gates on the test instance were not dropping rewards, and that was very visible. And I heard a lot of complaints about it myself when I was in the chat. The results, the reaction to this is we would like to work on the concerns that people expressed, and make sure that we address those concerns while kind of like still trying to stay true to the concept of we are having now, like, each ship is available for equipment and for use anytime there is no hangars. Yes.
Equipment.
Yeah.
Equipment. I'm sorry if I just interrupt you there, but this is just coming up on the chat. I think this goes into the green bar as well. This is equipment, re-equipping ships. If I may, I skip forward. The summary, you've seen the numbers. And the stuff that we want to improve.
Yeah.
Because that is probably the just scrolling through that loadout transfer. Yeah.
So basically, like, what I can tell, I guess, like what we generally have, we had a formal discussion today with tech people and art people and design, looking at the feedback and laying out the plans that you see there for basically additions and addressing the main concerns for the system. And one of the main things is the loadout transfer, which would allow players to easily re-equip the items from one ship of the same type to another. Like if you have a Venom and you want to re-equip Solus, it will be very easy, like 1-2 clicks transfer. We are now, I would say we are now in process. Like we have, as designers, we have an idea of how to do that. We basically submitted it to tech, and tech is now evaluating it. If it works like that, then awesome, we will share more details, like how exactly it would work, and see what you guys think. But so far I can say, like, we're definitely doing this one way or another. How exactly it will be done depends on the implementation, but we will of course talk about it. We will of course show it on the open beta, and we make sure that we address that main concern of the people that wanted to re-equip ships easier. But we would also want to kind of like to point out is that in general, we think that the new system allows a lot more freedom. Like it allows we got rid of the hangars, and every ship that you have is now a unique ship, which on the other hand you can right away go and equip it and use it, and you can use as many ships as you like, so there are no like limitation on that one.
And then at one point when the new system, the loadout transfer is in, then it's even easier. And the other thing that we are looking at is, of course, presentation.
Yes.
Of how it is shown on the web site. The restive information preview, that's one of the things that we, in that combination, have learned. We do have a little information button, we had a little information button up there, and you could click that, and then of course the information of the ship, how many slots it has, etc., was shown. but that wasn't quite
Well, yeah, and
intuitive
for some
enough.
ship, like for some reason, basically worked better for the ships you own, and it didn't show the proper information about the ships that you don't own, which would be more interesting. So we try to make sure that you will see the proper information on the ships that you don't own, and you will be able to basically manage your ship. One of the things that people found frustrating was that you have to click on the information button. The information appears, but the buttons to buy and manage, they disappear. We are also working on that. We've seen a few good suggestions on different
I stole
forms.
actually one.
Yeah. So the,
Like, no, like this one. So this is, as I said, this is stolen from the forums, and there were a couple of other people.
yeah, it's like when it's not the picture that we are using. We are doing this precise layout. It's just to show that we have seen suggestions like this. There are different layouts. In some cases, some parts are somewhere else, but the idea is really clear. Is we want to see the ship. We want to see the information about the ship, and we want to manage that really like in one space. And space really does allow for that. We are currently working with our UI designers to find the best layout, the most kind of like usable layout, and also try to make sure that it doesn't present a very big challenge for our developer guys, so we can present it to you fast in some reasonable time frame. We will, I guess, communicate a bit later, because we're now waiting to get the kind of like the timeline when we are able to produce the changes, and after that we will be able to say, hey guys, and like at this time frame we are going to show it an open beta again.
Yes.
And we would like to hear the feedback of what changed. Do you like the changes? Do you feel your concerns addressed or not? So we are very open on that one.
And after that, we're going to do another presentation, and then we show before we implemented your suggestions, after we implemented your suggestions.
I hope it will be better. So please make sure you vote, right, people.
Yeah, and I personally think that it will after that look very much like the results from the assembly system. Yeah. I mean, there is a lot of potential, and we want and need to do that, and just to give players a much better. A much wider variety for their ships and their play style. So again, share your feedback with us, either on the forums or on Facebook or on the feedback forms that are available on the test server.
We also have official Twitter, if anybody reads that.
At DarkOrbit.
Yes. So.
Thing is just when we Germans try to use Twitter, I mean, we have words that are longer than 140 characters. I mean, this is a bit tricky.
Oh well, but we can still speak English or some other language. So,
but for longer feedback, forums are ideal, as well as for mid-sized feedback. I love Facebook, but please share your feedback with us. As you can see, we read it. We react to it.
Yes.
And of course, there is so much that we want to do and that we now share with you in these kind of Twitch streams. There's one thing that I would like to address. There have been rumors lately, real like hardcore rumors about the server merge. I don't have any clue where they would come from. We have been talking about things like this in the last couple of days, we've been bouncing ideas off each other with development, with art, etc. But we haven't got any solid plans, like we're doing this and that at this point in time.
Well, I mean, I was, when I heard that, when I've seen that announcement from CMs, I was like, what? I really was trying to think like, we misspoke it, because really we are now in process of going through the options, and I mean even Rick Deckard, the producer, at some point expressed sort of an idea that why don't we guys just basically put a whiteboard up here, and I will just walk you through the things that we have to consider when we talk server merge in general. And I mean, the ways we can provide for the need to play with other players are kind of like are many. There are super many ways to make sure that you have people to play with, and each of these ways have certain implications, and that's what we are walking through now. We don't have a deadline of that sort. We don't have a date where we commit and say this is when it happens. And I'm really surprised that somebody has an idea that, oh, tomorrow servers will merge, or the day after tomorrow, or next week, whatever. It's not that simple. And when we do have the deadline, be sure, guys, you'll know it way in advance, because this is not a step that is just and it's done. It's something that everybody will be informed in advance, and something that everybody will have a say in. So
of course we will discuss some of the changes that we need to make in advance with the community.
Yes.
The last thing, the very last thing that we want to do is just decide on our own which servers we would just throw together, or whatever solution will be there.
We have a lot of statistics. We know how populated are the servers. We have concerns about certain servers, but again, whenever we go for a decision or for a deadline, we will have information available, because we think and we believe basically that everybody has to buy in the concept. So the players, in the first place, you guys have to approve the stuff that we are doing in this sensitive topic. In some cases, we say, like, you know what, we think the project needs it, and we have to convince everybody. But in this case, there is a server merge, everybody talks about it. We don't have a deadline, we don't have a date, but we know that we need to address it. We are working on this, and when we have something to share, we will share, and we will make sure that everybody is heard.
As you said, we will definitely go through this kind of presentation that we did, and really talk you through these concerns that we need to address, all the things that we need to keep in mind when we do that, and we will share definitely this information. Maybe next Twitch stream.
We'll have to see. I mean,
we'll have to see. Yeah,
we will announce the topics in advance, and I mean, obviously, between Twitch streams, we also do some work, and the amount of work we do between Twitch streams basically dictates the topics for the next Twitch stream. We'll hope that we will not face any big challenges in the things that are on our immediate current plan, like assembly or new ship management system, or some of the more like some of the closer upcoming things. If that goes smoothly, we will be able to work on the other stuff, and we'll see when we are able to share the first things. But I would really love to just show why it takes so long.
I just wanted to log into test 2. Thing is, I was just thrown out. Give me a second.
Too many players in.
No, actually, I had a timeout because I was preparing that too early. So, with all that being said, let's just try and show. Flips, you think I can really control the game from here?
I think so.
All right, let's try that.
Let's hope. Let's see.
I'll get you on the right screen. There you go.
Oh, magic.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay, I'm actually going to take the microphone off the mics. Hey guys, I'm the ghost behind the camera, as you people told in chat. And through the magic of space connections, Jörg can now play from the couch. Isn't that great?
Yes.
So, oh yes, it's loading, and well, okay. it's a bit twitchy.
Welcome to Twitch.
Yay. And there's the assembly window loading up for me. So can you just let us know what the changes were that you made since last week?
Well, basically,
Oh god, I need new glasses.
I feel like I need them too because
It's,
I see surgeons, but that's about
yeah,
it. So
lots of surgeons.
So guys, first of all, there is a change in which NPCs drop certain ores. So we basically increased the variety, so you could go for these NPCs or that NPCs.
Let's get out of the crowd here.
That information is available somewhere in the emails. I just don't know it by heart, unfortunately, but each ore had updates in terms of like which NPCs drop them. Like I think the one Mucosium was dropped by Devalariums, if I'm not mistaken, and now it also dropped by Mordens. So
Oh, I didn't get to actually update the FAQ.
yeah.
Oh,
So
all right,
that's
all right.
The cool part is that you see that we are basically like doing things super live, and what is the fun part is that today there is a special offer. You get to discover which NPCs drop the ores. I swear there are more than it's written in the information button. We just unfortunately somehow didn't update the FAQ, and I don't remember it by heart, but I guess we'll be sending out an update after the Twitch stream finishes. We'll be sending out update for moderators to say who exactly drops what, so that you are informed.
Yes.
Just check the forums after the Twitch, like maybe like in half an hour or something.
Give me an hour.
Oh, okay, hour, whatever. So, hey, luckily I don't have to do that myself. So, but meanwhile, I would say that we basically looked at the ore distribution and we tried to make sure that there is enough types of NPCs which drop specific ores, so that you are not like in entering some competition of like, do I get this ore or that ore and so on. What we would we are currently happy with the drop rates. We heard some concerns again, as I said, about the like maybe it's not too often and so on, but we hope that by broadening the amount of NPCs you can kill, so by switching some ores to some NPCs that are maybe a bit easier to kill, we kind of like compensate for that. We'll see. We are looking forward to your feedback. I know that Mordens now drop some more, Zibelons and Zibelonids should be dropping some more.
That means we get the stuff in the first couple of zones already.
Zibelonids are zones number 5 for each faction. Zibelons are zones number 4. But generally, like the distribution of wars was rather like it was more leaning towards start game. Like if you are level 12, you are able to access all the maps that you need, or even already level 11. So that's that being said. If you haven't, guys, seen the system yet and you can't or don't want to log in the test instance for some reason, just a quick overview. Here is your window. In your window, you can see the available recipes. That means which items you can craft.
With a cool filter function.
Yeah, you can filter them out, saying like I want only customization options. I want only ammo. I want only whatever else. Each item has a cool video, description, and the most important part, the list of components or like list of elements you need to collect to craft that specific item. And the I button will be updated and it should contain the description, where do you get this specific resource. If you get enough resources, you can craft the item pressing the green button, then a small timer will start, and then there you go, you get your item. That's simple. Currently the ores drop from basic NPCs, but as I said, the system allows us a lot more, and we'll be doing a lot more with the system as we go forward. So, like, stay tuned.
Yes. So basically, the functionality hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Um,
I think we also, if you could switch to the ammo, I'm not sure if we got to updating the ammo.
where is?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can't
I'm
really
sorry.
like two blind bats are trying to play DarkOrbit from like 2 meters because the monitor is over there. You can't see it, but
Sergey,
it's too far.
it's
Okay,
not
yeah.
much-
For me, it's okay.
For me, it's not much better.
Sure. Like now we stop complaining and we continue.
Yes,
So
please.
I think the ammunition now.
UCB 100 we have here.
Yeah. So it is supposed to have a definition in the heading that it has how many
200 times
how many
UCB.
items. So yeah, how many items you are going to craft. That was something that was unclear, and we heard that from feedback, and we tried to address that.
Yes.
That being said, we can say hi in the chat. Hello from live Twitch stream. And I don't know actually what else to say about this. We are very happy with the number of players who are on test server, and we hope they play assembly and they test it and they try to find maybe bugs or try to come up with some cool ideas what to do with the system. I know that for many people test server is attraction because we give out login bonus and everybody goes to Galaxy Gates, but I really beg you guys, please look at stuff we put out to look. You can do whatever you want, but just take a look at the system that we are testing, give us your feedback, because you are able to shape our decisions, and we have shown the whole presentation about how it works. So it's very transparent, and we are very dependent on your feedback. So yeah.
Just going through a couple of questions here on the chat, and from what I can see, we answered most of the questions that we really can answer.
Okay.
There are a couple of
We don't know if there is life on Mars. Sorry, we have no reports, even though we have a Mars poster here, as you have asked.
So does that mean that life on Venus is confirmed?
Yes.
Okay,
Uh,
good.
Actually, I believe there should be some, because I mean there's life in the deepest ocean, so why shouldn't there be on Venus?
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
So from my end, this would kind of conclude it for today. I don't know. Do you have anything? I just feel like saying that we are going to my action items for today, update the FAQ, make sure that for the next time the ship customization FAQ is out before the test goes live, and keep collecting the feedback from the forums and pass it on to Sergey and his team.
That would be awesome. And I mean, what else I would add as a wrapper to today's Twitch? Thank you for being with us, and send us ideas on what would you like to hear on these Twitch streams. Like, who would you like to see here? Because we have, as I said, we have a big team of different specialists, and they work in different fields. We had our wonderful quality manager here. We have other people who we can invite, and they can talk about what they do and why and so on. And obviously, I guess it's already inevitable that we'll be here answering questions and talking about recent feedbacks and recent developments. That's it from my side.
And just looking at the screen, I noticed that this stupid mug always stands there and looks like I have white socks on. I don't wear white socks.
That would be classy, though.
Ah.
Right?
yeah, people in chat actually asked what that mug is that you're drinking out.
Oh,
of.
that
So it's
is
just
that is from my favorite coffee shop around the corner, and it's been used so many times that it's completely washed out. So I'm not even doing advertisement for them. All right, I think we have to go for today.
Yep.
Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for all your questions, and keep them coming, please. And we'll promise that we keep you updated and in the loop about all the cool developments that are ongoing behind the scenes. Thank you, Flips.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining.
Thank you out there, and see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Make sure we break that live stream participation record. We need more viewers. Tell your friends.
Yes, definitely. Also big thank you to our moderators in the chat and everybody who participated in the chat. The chat was awesome tonight. See you all in 2 weeks and have a good one. Give us feedback.
Thank you.
Feedback.
Good night.
Goodbye, people.